thought today that we would tell you a bit about our background and how we came to be on a canal boat in the UK after being born and raised in Australia. It's a beautiful day today, a bit cold,
bit
and
snowy.
It has snowed, as if we just adjust that, you can, whoops, sorry Pixel, you can probably see in the background there, a bit of snowy hillside. A lot of it has melted.
Yeah, it was very beautiful this morning.
And cold.
Yeah, cold.
Got some footage of Pixel running about in the snow. We think it might be the first time she's seen it because she would have still been a puppy last year. It was hilarious.
Jumping around wondering, what is this white, cold, wet, crunchy stuff?
So, both of us have only been in the UK for 4 years and were born and raised in Australia. I grew up in the central desert area of Australia, out bush, as you might have heard it called, in the outback. My parents worked on the Aboriginal communities out there, so my sisters and I grew up most of our lives in the desert, which we really enjoyed. It was certainly a different upbringing to what a lot of kids would have had. Most of my school years were done as homeschool. I only went to traditional school, I suppose you'd call it, for a couple of my primary school years. I think it was about years 5 and 6, and then the rest of it was mostly all homeschooled. When I was 18, I went on a student exchange program to Belgium, which was one of the best experiences of my life. I absolutely loved my year there. Then I went back to Australia and I started my chef's apprenticeship, and the chef apprenticeship in Australia is a requirement before you can work in a kitchen and call yourself a chef, and that's when I met Ryan. He was my sous chef in the first kitchen that I worked in.
Yeah.
During that apprenticeship I also won a scholarship to go to Finland, and spent 4 months in Finland on a cooking scholarship, and again that was another one of the best experiences of my life. So I think you can see there's a theme coming of travel and best experiences.
Yeah. I was born and raised in the suburbs of Brisbane. I mean, my parents, my dad was born in Scotland, just outside Edinburgh. My mother was born on an English military base in Germany when my grandfather was on a tour of duty there. But she grew up in England as well. They immigrated out here with their parents separately, and they somehow met each other. So 12 years being a chef, and I started my apprenticeship just out of high school. I worked everywhere from pubs, taverns, clubs, 5-star hotels, fine dining restaurants, award-winning restaurants. I was also a culinary chef for a hotel where I would do ice sculptures and pictures for photographs for advertisements. Met Maggie as a sous chef in a club.
Yes.
It wasn't the best place, was it?
It was a starting point.
I was very, very vocal and angry at the time because the kitchen was always in a bad state when I first started. I was
a bit scared of him when I first met him. He looked very intimidating.
Yeah, I was a bit intimidating.
After we got married, we bought a house, and then probably about 6 months after we bought it, we decided we didn't actually want to live in Australia.
Well, we didn't want to live in a pre-bought house. We wanted to travel around a bit more and see lots more different things. And we decided to come to the UK because A, I have British citizenship. Obviously my parents are both born, and Maggie's could get an ancestor visa having grandparents that were UK citizens.
So before we came over, we thought we weren't originally going to sell the house, we were going to keep it and just keep paying the mortgage. So we moved to a remote island in the Gulf of Carpentaria off the coast of Australia, and it was called Groote Island. It's a small Aboriginal community.
Had a mining community nearby.
Yeah, there was a mining town, and we went there just so that we could earn a bit of money, put it into savings, so that we had just a bit of a safety net for when we came over, and we could afford to keep paying the mortgage on the house. So I worked in the schools that were on there for the Indigenous children, and I was the coordinator for the school nutrition program, which meant I worked for 3 schools, and one of those schools was on an even smaller island off the coast of Groote Island, and I had to get in a tiny little plane and fly there every Friday, and that was part of my daily job.
I worked in a aged care facility on Groote Island, just in the community of Onurugu. I ran the meal program there to all the aged care clients. I also fed the elders of the community, the elders of the Aboriginal community.
And some of the ones that had disabilities as well.
Yeah, disabilities.
They were part of the program.
Didn't have that much to do with the day-to-day care of the clients. Just occasionally in the afternoon, after all the meals had gone out for lunch, I would help out with the girls, with some of the care of some of the clients there. But they're all great on the community. They're all pretty funny and good to get along with.
Yeah. After working on the community for about a year, we sold the house because we decided it would just be too much to try and keep up with the mortgage payments while we were over here. So we sold the house and we made the move. The reason we decided to move to the UK, the main reason was we just wanted a different lifestyle, and we wanted to try something new while we were still young, didn't have any kids or
any
major debts, so any ties anywhere really. So
we loved Australia. I mean, we don't dislike the quality of living over there. We quite enjoyed it. I mean, the cost of living over there is about the same as it is here. People often think it's more expensive over there. I mean, rent is more expensive, but we don't pay council tax in Australia.
So that sort of evens it out.
It evens out. Rent is more expensive, but your council tax is kind of factored into that.
Yes.
And costs of food, there's certain things that are more expensive, some things a little bit cheaper. But our overall weekly bills on food and toiletries and that is about the same.
Yeah, we don't really find that much difference. The difference we do find is the difference between wages. You do get paid a little bit more, a little bit better in Australia, we've found.
Yeah, I think the minimum wage over there is $23, which is about £12 an hour.
About £12 an hour.
Yeah, about £12 an hour.
So it's a little bit more, but we didn't come over for the money. We came for the experience and the different lifestyle. But you can't live on a canal boat in Australia.
No.
They don't have canals.
We also came because of the rain.
And the snow!
We're living in northern Australia, and on the communities and that, sometimes you'd go for months and months and months without a single drop of rain.
And it's so hot.
So hot. I mean, at the moment...
45 degrees plus. It's
45
ridiculous. And then 80% humidity.
I mean, you can see videos on YouTube, places where people in Australia being able to cook eggs on a shovel or a spade or on the one of the car, or someone just cracking an egg on the road and it just burns.
So we do really enjoy living in the UK. Some of our favourite things about being in the UK is obviously the weather.
Yep.
It's just different to what we're used to in Australia, and we like the fact that you do get a bit more rain here. And
we do miss the summer storms you get in Australia. They're all quite intense and
you see all the lightning.
The
lightning and the thunder is just amazing.
Yeah.
And I think in the 4 years we've been here, I've seen one storm in the UK, and it's a yearly occurrence during sort of October to March.
Yeah.
You kind of get the summer storms rolling in, and they're just spectacular.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
Miss those storms.
And it's obviously quite green here in the UK. I mean,
well, yeah, because you get all the rain.
England, the whole of the UK is quite lucky, having so much rain and being so green all year round.
It's very different, especially having grown up in the Central Desert area. It's really nice to see all of the greenery, and like just it's green. It's the middle of winter and it's still green.
Especially in periods of drought where you go for a couple of years without rain. I remember there was a time there where there was like kids going into primary school years 1 and 2 had never seen rain in their entire life in central Queensland.
Yeah. So rain is good in our books. We like it.
The sound of the rain on the roof of the boat is always quite nice and relaxing.
Love that, yes.
Well, also one of the reasons why that attracted us is because obviously we love to travel. And
if you hadn't guessed by now.
Yeah. The UK is obviously on the Europe's doorstep. We chose the UK for many reasons, including easy access because of
to the EU,
citizenship.
and there's so many countries right here without us having to get on a plane
For
and spend 30 hours in multiple planes to get here for maybe a 2 to 3 week holiday and then go back. So we thought, seeing as the UK is close, it would be a great opportunity to be able to see the rest of the countries as well. So one of our most favouriteest things about being in the UK is being on the boat. Like we said, it's something that you can't really do in Australia. We don't have canals, we don't have canal boats, and so far we are loving the life, and we cannot wait for winter to be over and we can just go and cruise. Well, technically we could cruise during winter, but we quite like being cosy, sitting by the fire, and snuggling up nice and warm. We don't really want to cruise when it's cold and freezing and having our noses and ears drop off.
Yeah, and we at the moment trying to concentrate on getting Pixar ready for spring so she doesn't keep jumping off into the canal, and so she's not getting stressed.
She hasn't fallen in yet.
No, she almost did this morning on the snow and ice.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely looking forward to in spring and the canal start opening up from the closures again.
Yeah.
We're going to be pushing out as soon as we're finished here.
Probably mid-March, I think.
Probably mid-March, yeah. We haven't decided which way we're going to go, north or south yet.
No, not sure. We'll have to look at some maps.
Yeah. We don't want to plan too early because we'll change our minds, have to start all over again.
We'll have to think about what we want to see and how to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are thinking strongly of the Glenolphin Canal and the aqueduct there, the Chirk area and stuff.
So thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this interesting, finding out a little bit about us and our background. And as always, if you've enjoyed the videos, give us a like and subscribe to the channel, and we will be putting more videos up.
Bye.
Bye.